Hi, this is Eldervi, and I would like to talk about summoning chances for A Hero Rises. This video will be driven by the current interim results of A Hero Rises 2022, but the information given here will be viable for the time when it comes to playing the voting gauntlet, as well as any potential upcoming A Hero Rises event in future years. So, interim results came in and let's just say, I'm surprised. Though I'm really not, but apart from favoritism, there is still apparently a huge misconception about this event, and I'd like to clear that up. First of all, what is A Hero Rises? It's an event where the community gets to create their very own banner out of all the available units. As humanity is in a pretty bad condition overall right now, we are obviously not able to find consent. Therefore, we do a voting. And the top 8 voted characters get to compete in a 1 vs 1 fight to claim a spot on the upcoming A Hero Rises banner. That being said, there are in fact right and wrong choices. Not every hero in this selection is equal, and I'm not talking about their current meta impact. No matter their power, in general there are 3 different unit types: pool units, seasonal units, and legendary/mythic units. Pool units are units that can technically be summoned on any banner. After their release, they are featured on skill-focused banners, Tempest Trial banners, or very fresh ones get another chance at the banner revival, which gives you another spark on top. Selected units will also get reruns in legendary banners or hero remix banners. Finally, they are always available as common pity breakers, where they swim among a pool of many other more or less viable 5-star units to ruin everyone's summoning experience while trying to get that specific focus unit. A powerful hero like Fallen Edelgard has been rerun 3 times since her release 1 year ago, and she will likely get more reruns in the future as well. Seasonal heroes are much different. After their release, they are unavailable for around half a year, when they make an appearance at the Double Special Heroes banner. After that, they will once again disappear for half a year, until their original banner gets rerun annually, making them very hard to summon or merge. Legendary and Mythic units will appear regularly on other Legendary and Mythic banners. After their release, they will reappear rather quickly, most of them taking a pause of 3 to 4 months. The older they become, the less frequent will be their appearance, making them unavailable for as long as 7 months. So, obviously, there's a big difference in those units' availability. But I guess that's something we all can easily agree on, and which isn't the biggest argument when it comes to just wanting to have another chance at summoning your favorite. So, let's address the much more important question. Is A Hero Rises even a valuable banner for your favorite unit? To answer this question, let's take a look at the 3 different unit types. First, pool units. I'll compare a potential A Hero Rises banner with that unit to the otherwise most valuable type of banner for this unit. The best chances to summon or merge regular pool units are skill-focused banners. They usually share their spotlight with only 2 other units, making summoning rates much better. If you're surprised by that, watch my Summoning Explained Part 2 video, or just believe me to save some time. Listening to that audio 1 year later is rough. Instead of the promised 3% 5-star chance, a colorless orb on the recent Bonfire banner has a 3.81% chance to contain Fallen Edelgard. A single copy costs therefore merely 94 orbs on average, and to plus 10 her in such a banner costs around 1300 orbs. Please take all these numbers with a grain of salt. Average numbers are always controversial when it comes to single experiences. It doesn't help that only 1 out of thousands of syphilis patients dies when you're the dead one, and we've all been there before. Especially when it comes to syphilis. Nasty little bitch. Of course, summoning on focus banners means getting pity broken, so we actually summon a random 5-star unit every 57 orbs in case of picking colorless on a 3-man banner. Those are true numbers, and yes, you're unlucky, but you also don't consider the few free 5-star summons you have here and there, forcing you to have bad luck on banners you actually care for. Also a true fact. Now, let's take a look at what the numbers on our potential A Hero Rises banner would look like. For this, we'll assume for now that we'll get a hero of each color. This makes Edelgard appear with a chance of 2.88% when picking colorless. That's quite a difference, and it shows. A single copy costs therefore around 120 orbs, and getting her to plus 10 even considering the free spark, which means you would need one copy less, takes over 1500 orbs compared to the 1300 on focus banners. Pity breakers will be a thing on A Hero Rises as well, but once again, given the 4-unit banner type, you will only receive a 5-star unit every 69 orbs. Nice. Or not nice? I'm conflicted. So, in direct comparison, summoning regular pool units on the A Hero Rises banner will cost 30% more orbs per copy, 17% more orbs to plus 10 despite the spark, and you will get less 5-star heroes overall. Quite the shitty numbers, aren't they? So what about seasonals? As said before, seasonals only appear on their own annual banners and double special hero banners. Seeing that double special heroes has slightly worse rates, let's look at their rerun to compare numbers. In case of Hataria Azura, a banner that is available right now, she is summonable with a rate of 3.59%. That's the rich green woman fantasy for you. A single copy therefore costs around 108 orbs on average, while getting her to plus 10 costs around 1560 orbs. Similar to new hero banners, you'll get pity broken, making you summon a random 5-star every 60 orbs. Also green value. So let's compare that to A Hero Rises. The summoning rate for a single green unit on there will be at 3.48%, slightly less than the original. This happens due to the fact that the 4-star special heroes slightly push the rates of all the other heroes of their banner, and A Hero Rises won't have a 4-star special rate. It won't make a huge difference in summoning though, a single copy still costs 108 orbs on average. Getting them to plus 10 takes 1428 orbs, 8% less, but this is only because of the spark. If you don't spark them, or for FEH-Pass users who get the spark on the new banners as well, the cost will be the same. And last, also the general 5-star rate is the same. So summoning seasonal heroes on A Hero Rises gives you the exact same chances as on their regular banners, with the only exception of having a spark for non-FEH-Pass users. This makes the position of 5th place Azura very interesting and kinda questionable, seeing that she is summonable right now. There are obviously other factors as well though, Colorsharing, which we'll talk about soon. Last, let's take a look at legendary and mythic units. On A Hero Rises, they will appear with the same chances as the other heroes I've shown you before. Red with an average of 122 orbs per focus hero, green with 108 orbs per focus hero, and colorless with 121 orbs per focus hero. Their otherwise best and only other chance to summon are legendary and mythic banners, where they share their focus with 2 other units at an initial rate of 8%. Dividing that between 12 heroes makes red units appear with a rate of 2.72% and therefore 140 orbs on average, green with 3.08%, 125 orbs on average, and colorless with 2.55%. 141 orbs for a copy of a specific unit. Now, that's a difference. Summoning these heroes on A Hero Rises costs 13% less orbs. The difference will become even bigger when it comes to getting them to plus 10. Including the spark for non-FEH-Pass users, plus 10ing a legendary on A Hero Rises costs 24% less orbs than on legendary banners, an orb difference of up to 500 orbs. But there's obviously a downside to that. The thing which legendary banners are mostly known for is their generous orb for 5-star ratio. In fact, summoning a 5-star takes around merely 50 orbs, and I can absolutely confirm that number with my numerous summonings of the past. The more you summon, the closer you get to the 50 per hero ratio. While the number is the same for red, where we have tons of 5-star pool units, but that means pity breakers, it's much different for colorless, resulting in an average rise of orb cost for 5-star heroes of 23%. So is that the power of not having to color share? Not quite, cause as I told you in all my summoning videos before, legendary banners just have the worst summoning rates. Even if we get another color sharing experience on a hero rises, which seems plausible seeing that the only blue hero on the interim results is Brave Erica on rank 11, these legendary and mythic heroes will still have much better performances than on the home banners. 11% less orb cost for a single copy, 22% less orb cost in order to plus 10, and surprise! You'll even get more 5 stars for your money. Orbs. F2P orbs. Obviously. With 39 on green and 43 on colorless, chances to get a random 5-star on a color sharing a Hero Rises banner are even better than on legendary banners. Sure, you'll also get some pool shit, like for an Edelgard. Not for Sigurd though, cause there is literally no other red unit in the top 20 besides him. So, as a little recap, too long to read for jumpers. Pool units on a Hero Rises are bad. Even if I totally understand your desire to vote for your favorite unit, I wouldn't advise anyone on actually spending orbs on this banner on pool units, but rather recommend waiting for them to appear on a skill banner, where you'll get much more value for your orbs. Not even the spark can make up for their, in general, horrible orb cost. And while I understand the idea of getting a free copy of them, let's be real, even if Edelgard makes it into the final 2, there will be tons of people rallying against her at this point, making that outcome very unlikely. As for seasonal units, it's indeed mostly a question of availability. Missed Corrin and Daga on their own banner? Then this might be a good chance for you, cause they will likely not be rerun till the end of the year. Legendary and mythic heroes are the obvious winners in terms of value for our Hero Rises. It takes less to summon them once, it takes much less to plus 10 them, and you bypass their schedule. A perfect Hero Rises banner will have as many legendary and mythic heroes in it as possible. That being said, what are our actual options and how would the controversial color sharing shape our experience this time? For a start, let's assume we'll get a banner with all colors and no color sharing, similar to most of today's banners. With that, it will simply be a regular New Heroes banner without a demote, but with a spark, so fallen heroes, literally. Pool units lose, seeing that new hero banners are generally the worst place to summon for them. Seasonal units, which always appear on these types of banners, have the same rates with the added value of a spark, and legendary and mythic heroes become much cheaper, while we will overall summon less 5 stars on all departments. So, what happens if Erica doesn't make it in? Which she most certainly won't, and shouldn't if you've been paying attention. It is likely we'll get another green unit, changing the rates like this. Colorless and red will stay the same, as the color sharing obviously doesn't affect them. But green will now have a much reduced orb cost per random 5-star. It is true that the number for getting a specific 5-star increases slightly, but to be fair, only by 3 orbs, while you will suddenly summon way more 5-stars in general. The power of color sharing. Also explained in How to Summon Part 2. So, Pool Edelgard keeps her shitty performance. Seasonal Corrin has a slightly increased orb cost for a single copy, but plus 10ing her is still cheaper on a color sharing banner than on her own rerun, and you will actually summon way more 5-stars overall, as you will get lots of A3s as well. 1 out of 10 summoners will summon a random 5-star on their free summon, and A3 profits most. Her orb cost is reduced by 11% compared to legendary banners. To plus 10 her costs 20% less, that's nearly 400 orbs in numbers. And this is the craziest part. You'll even summon more 5 stars than on legendary banners, making color sharing legendaries or mythics on this banner super valuable. Let's go a step further and kick Sigurd out. Sorry my dear FE4 lovers. And replace him with Elimine. She obviously profits in the same way as Eitri, being only on legendary or mythic banners otherwise. But now we actually see a change for our pool unit Edelgard. Compared to summoning her on a skill banner with 3 units, a single copy costs now even more. Great! Getting her to plus 10 actually costs 350 orbs more compared to skill banners, despite the potential spark, ladies and gentlemen. The only positive thing is obviously the reduced orb cost for any 5 star thanks to the color sharing. And that is only if your fantasy is summoning as many copies as possible of both Edelgard and Elimine. Which honestly might be your fantasy, given how well those two would work together. I think I can actually see now where this is going. Let's go even more ridiculous and make this a legendary type banner. 3 green units with a fallen Edelgard. In this scenario, Edelgard goes back to her prior shitty numbers, but what happens to seasonal and legendaries? The orb cost for a single seasonal copy rises, as you will have even more chances of getting one of the other units of that color, and getting them to plus 10 with a spark does now cost the same amount of orbs as getting them to plus 10 on their rerun without a spark. But the orb cost for a 5 star in general is cut in half. So while the orb cost to plus 10 the unit may be the same, you will technically plus 10 another unit as well with the same amount of orbs. We all know that it doesn't exactly work like that in reality for a single player, but that's the average outcome, and it is a pretty damn good one. 13 out of 100 summoners will summon a free 5 star, compared to only 7 out of 100 for a banner without color sharing. That's nearly twice as many. And for the legendary hero in this setup, even though this looks exactly like any other legendary banner now, the orb cost for a single copy is still lower than on legendary banners. You will still save around 300 orbs trying to plus 10 them, and you will receive much more 5 stars than on legendary banners overall. The difference is having 4 units on a 3% banner compared to 12 units on an 8% banner. And just for the sheer ridiculousness of it, let's see what would happen on a banner with 4 green units. Even seasonals become slightly more expensive now, but as I said before, you'll be overcompensated by tons of other units. 16 out of 100 summoners will receive a 5 star unit with every orb they pick. If we share equally, this is value for all of us. And those legendaries and the potential mythic, still cheaper than on legendary banners, still much cheaper to plus 10, and at this point you'll get twice as many 5 stars compared to legendary banners. Arena tier 21 in Fire season will be obnoxious after that. With an average orb cost of 23 orbs per 5 star, we reach the summoning numbers of the mode units, and I've pulled many of them without even trying. So with that being said, all those numbers obviously mean nothing if you don't like the heroes behind them. Therefore I will not tell you who you should vote for! Or who to support in the voting gauntlet, that's your decision to make. But I hope this video helps to make the most educated decision. Even if I understand the desire to get a free fallen Edelgard, it will most likely not happen. And unless she shares her focus with Elimine, it would be a bad decision to vote her in or spend orbs on her, even apart from the other reasons that are availability and such. If it weren't for Sigurd being a legendary, I would actually suggest dumping Red as well, seeing that he has no chances of color sharing. But legendary heroes will profit with or without color sharing on these banners, so that's your choice really. And for which green units will actually make the cut, we'll see. What I can tell you already though is that a banner with as many exclusive green units as possible might make the greatest banner in FE history, And even if you don't get the ones you were most hoping for, I think most people would leave such a banner satisfied, seeing that you could summon up to 10 5 stars before you actually even reached the spark. This banner is our decision, so let's make a good one. Another good decision would be to like and share this video as much as possible to make everyone learn about this banner's value. Unless you're a fallen Edelgard voter. In that case, I would probably advise you to make it disappear with full passion. See ya!